Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this motion. And I want to urge the members to make sure that we actually appoint, or rather vote for the right candidates, because it is important that whoever we send to East Africa, they will represent the face of the country, and there would be people who are experienced, committed, with a constitutional memory, whereby they would be able to move the EALA forward. Mr. Speaker, again, it's important to give opportunity to all the applicants, because there should not be barriers whereby somebody, if it's connected to any political affiliation or any political kingpin, for them to be denied the opportunity. It is important, if somebody qualifies, we are all grown-ups, or they are all grown-ups, once you are over 18, you have your own life. So people should not be denied opportunities, or their dreams to be shattered because simply they are connected to a certain politician. So please, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the House to make sure they give the opportunity to everybody who deserves the opportunity to be able to serve in EALA, Mr. Speaker. I think with those few remarks, I support. Thank you.
Senator Chirange.
Mr. Speaker, it's working. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report, and I think in the interest of the House and many issues that have been raised. One is with the Committee on ESC. I think there is a committee that concerns itself. They need to pick it up, some of these recommendations going into the future, so that we can ensure the process of EALA become less tedious within the law. Mr. Speaker, finally, I want to, I've heard my colleagues from the minority side, as Mio One Kenya lands. I think he just left the chamber, Mr. Speaker. He is alleging that, that members of Kenya Kwanza at some point will be given who to vote for. My question is simple. When you look at this report, which is the worst democracy and corruption, Mr. Speaker, if you can bring your own daughter to be elected to EALA, or your own son? Winnie ODINGA wants to be an EALA member simply because of the second name, just like Kalonzo Musyoka's son. They are here. They should stop lecturing us about democracy, where they practice the worst form of democracy and corruption. If it comes to voting, I will not allow cronyism and nepotism to go through, because that is not the spirit of this republic, Mr. Speaker. When you look at the list of Kenya Kwanza, Mr. Speaker, it is only hustlers, people who are from bottom up, that we have nominated to go to EALA to represent this country, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the One Kenya, as the One Kenya lands, to stop peddling lies to Kenyans that they are democratic. They are not. They are corrupt and nepotic and cronyism, and we shall not allow that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Hazana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, every time I rise, the expectation is that I'll be speaking for the marginalized people in this country. But I want to highlight, as regards the EALA nomination list, that the most marginalized group of people in this country turns out to be the youth. And it is very unfair for a sitting member of the Senate to stand up and say that experience is required to have sat in parliament before for you to participate in the East African Legislative Assembly. I want to strongly refute that, and I hope that this House, each member will interrogate themselves and remember that these very youth who are seeking for these positions have no experience, and next time could turn out to be their own children. I believe that whoever we are going to send to the East African Legislative Assembly should be someone who is knowledgeable, someone who is eloquent, someone who has a vast knowledge of the East African affairs and matters, and somebody who understands the importance of discipline and aggressiveness and the value that the East African community brings when we have a common goal that will consolidate our interests. Senator Cherargei, please stop interrupting.
Senator Azena, do not be disrupted by another senator. Leave it to me.
Thank you.
I'll protect you. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For Senator Cherargei, I believe, Honorable Speaker, should be the first to speak about the young people getting opportunities more than those who have experience. Having been a young member of the Senate in the last term, as a young naive boy from the hills of Nandi, and the opportunity bestowed upon him turned him into the brave man who is always in.
Honorable Senator, your time is up. Senator Boni Kalole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to members and have agreed with them that we need competence, proven competence at EALA. You and I have been there in an executive role, and you know the critical role played by this assembly, and countries like Rwanda and Uganda bring very good members of parliament. Let me tell you, I've listened to Senator Osotsi and I sympathize with him. He's saying that a parliamentary group meeting that is going to discuss this matter should not be entertained. Poor him. Senator Osotsi, in November 2006, Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o and 10 other leaders belonging to the Rainbow Coalition took President Mwai Kibaki to the East African Court of Justice. And the ruling was given in Anyang' Nyong'o's favor that no political party within a coalition can be locked out. That was the ruling, November 2006. So, heads of coalitions must sit together and agree so that the members we take to East Africa, WIPA must be there, Jubilee should be there, ODM should be there on that side. And on our side, we should reflect our composition. And this is why I want to urge ODM, if you have not held consultations with your colleagues, you're going to give us problems. We'll be ruled out of order by that court. So we need that tomorrow's example by us be seen as value adding. The only thing I'll request is, because I'll be voting for you, I'll go by the ruling of the East African Court of Justice. I'll make sure that the people I vote for, I'll give some to ODM, some to WIPA, and some to Jubilee. And on the UDA side, because we have almost 90% majority, the law allows us as UDA to take all the UDA members of parliament, and I'll therefore be guided, and I urge members to be guided by the geographical consideration, so that the entire community of Kenya is also in East Africa. I support.
Thank you, Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand in support of the report, and hasten to say that, Mr. Speaker, there is a lot of consultation going around, which is healthy. I mean, let those people who are interested in representing our republic in EALA lobby and canvass and caucus. And there's no formula for doing it, Mr. Speaker. People will canvass in the best way that they know how to. And at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, the thing that we must all be very careful about, I think, is what Senator Alwale has said. That we need to take to Arusha a team of 9 members